Phillips down here at Autogeek Show Car Garage, and we just brought in the Lake Country microfiber pads for use with the rotary buffer and also a DA polisher. And the unique thing about these ones for the rotary buffer is how thick the foam is, and it's this thickness that actually enables these types of pads to actually glide over the paint instead of getting all grabby or doing what we call buffer hop. So I'm just going to do a quick video showing them using Flex PE14 over on the hood of this Mustang, and then after I get it all buffed out, I'm going to go ahead and apply the Gtechniq EXO. We also just brought in the Microtemp MT Pro, which is a handheld laser thermometer, and the MT100, which is a pocket thermometer. You can actually attach this to your keychain, and it's important because you have to have the surface at just the right temperature before you apply the Gtechniq EXO. So I'm going to go ahead and set up here, and I'll just do a real quick demonstration showing how these new microfiber pads for the rotary buffer work, and then I'll apply the Gtechniq EXO. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just as a good practice, take a nylon brush here. It's a pad conditioning brush. I'm just going to make sure the face of the pad here is clean, make sure there's no particulates on there. That's just a good habit to get into no matter what kind of pad you're using. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a strip of product right here on the hood, and I'm going to use a technique called picking up your bead, using the 10 at 10 technique. And I have a strip of product here, about the length of a normal pencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick it up. I'm going to lay my polisher down here flat, tilt the left-hand side up at 10 degrees, and then run that bead in at 10 o'clock. And then as soon as I get past it, I'll lay it down flat. Then I'll just go ahead and buff a section of this panel out before I move on to the next step, just to show you how this glides over the hood here and doesn't do what we call buffer hop or get all grabby on you. So that's the new microfiber foam pad for rotary buffers from Lake Country. And I think, as you can see, it glides over the surface here just like a foam pad or a wool pad. And the ones I've tried before that have the thin foam, they tend to get real grabby and your polish feels like it's kind of hopping around. So I think it's that thicker foam interface is what cured that. Okay, I've got the 5-inch microfiber pad on a quarter cable DA polisher on a 5-inch vacuum plate. It's actually about 5.5 inches, so there's a little bit of room here for protection so you don't ever rub that vacuum plate into any kind of component like the mirror or something. And again, it's just a good idea to go ahead and take and clean any pad that's new. Make sure there's no particulates on it before you start buffing out someone's car. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I've already primed this pad previously and did some buffing with it, so it's already dampened with the product. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more product to it just for this demo. Actually, when I get done doing this little video, I'm going to buff out the entire hood for my buddy Jeff here. Okay, cord over shoulder. I'm going to turn this down to like the 4 setting just to spread this out, but you can see the product on the microfiber pad. I'm going to do like a couple section passes. Okay, so that worked really good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and buff out the rest of this hood because I'm going to apply the Gtechniq EXO to the entire hood, but I'm not going to video the entire thing. That'd take 20 or 30 minutes. So I've buffed out the entire hood using the rotary buffer. And just real quick, you can see the fibers mat down. That's normal. Again, take a pad conditioning brush, bring this up, medium speed, just draw it across there. We'll peel off the majority of any caked up gunk, then turn it off. Just run this back and forth. And that'll clean off all that spent residue and any paint you removed while you're doing the correction work. Okay, so we're done with that step. I went ahead and left the residue on here just so you can see I did buff out the entire hood. I just didn't want to spend a lot of video time doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off. I'm going to hit this with the DA, and we'll come back, strip it, put the Gtechniq on. Okay, so I've taken and ran the DA polisher with the microfiber pad over the entire surface. This just makes sure there's no rotary buffer swirls. I didn't check to see if there were any. It's just a precaution that you can take to make sure there aren't any because you change the action of the tool. Again, after you buff out a section, the fibers tend to lay flat. That's normal. Take a pad conditioning brush, brush them like that. That gets all the caked up residue off, fluffs up the fibers, ready to go back to work. When I do this, I just kind of brace this with my fingers behind the vacuum clip like that, and then just spin it. You don't clean these with them turned on, just do it with them turned off. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off, then I'm going to chemically strip it, put the Gtechniq EXO on here, and I'll show both those steps, so hang tight. I've wiped all the residue off the hood. The next step is you need to chemically strip the paint before using the Gtechniq EXO. Now to do that, I'm going to use the Worth Clean Solve, and this is a really important step because at this point here, this finish is flawless, so I don't want to put any scratching back in as I'm chemically stripping it. So always take and use a really nice, clean, soft microfiber towel, fold it 4 ways. And this part is an aerosol. Here's a tip. Don't spray this actually onto the car. Hold your microfiber towel off to the side. Go ahead and just spray some onto the towel. Then come down here and wipe. And something else you don't want to do, you don't want to wipe like a madman. You want to wipe nice and gentle. Be real careful with the paint. Also, as you're loosening any of these polishing residues that may be on the paint, the idea is to transfer them from the paint onto the towel. So you want to give the towel a nice slow wipe and give them plenty of time to transfer. You also want to change out and use plenty of towels, and turn towels, because as I've removed residue here, I don't want to just keep using this side. I could just cross-contaminate the rest of the hood. So turn to a fresh side, of course, where it blows for safety reasons. Okay, this side's done. I'll lock out the other hood, then we'll get ready to measure the temperature of the hood, then we'll put on the Gtechniq EXO. Okay, I finished chemically stripping the paint, completely wiped it all down. It's ready to put the Gtechniq EXO on. They recommend a temperature range between 60 and 100 degrees before you apply the product. These are the brand new micro temp laser thermometers we have. This is the pocket size. So I'm just going to, they're real easy to use. Right out of the box, you just grab them, press the button, read the indicator. It says 79 degrees. This is the handheld pistol style. 78.5 degrees. So they're very accurate within a very close range, and we're in the perfect range for applying the Gtechniq EXO. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have a very soft microfiber towel here, and I'm going to go ahead and take and apply this. Now, manufacturer recommends that you apply this and then immediately wipe it off, and that's because once it becomes exposed to the air, it's going to start to cure and bond to the paint. If you have any excess residues anywhere, then it's going to start drying there and you won't be able to get it off. So again, I'm going to take and shake this. I'm going to take and spray it away from the car. Put some right onto my microfiber towel. Then just come down here and start spraying this out. Nice, thin, uniform coat. I tend to like to use overlapping passes just for good uniform coverage. I'll just go ahead and work around this. And you come back and immediately wipe it off. For the wipe off, I'm going to use one of these rolled edge, super fluffy microfiber towels. Real soft, plenty of cushion, plenty of ability to go ahead and wipe any of that residue off. This goes on really clear. It almost looks like I'm putting a thin coat of oil onto the paint. And if you get down at different angles, you can see if you've missed any spots. So it's real important that you get a nice uniform coating on here. And that's for uniform protection and uniform appearance. Okay, so I've got this thing fairly well coated. Set this aside, come back. Here's my microfiber towel. I've already inspected it, folded 4 ways. I'm just going to come down and just start gently wiping this off. Flip to the other side here. Do this side of the hood, final wipe. Well, that looks good. Looks real good. Okay, now I'm going to fold this, go to the side that I haven't used yet. Then repeat this, come back, remove any of this excess product off here. And give it a final wipe. Put that other side underneath that. Get around the windshield squirters there really good. And that's it. We're done. And now I'll grab the camera and just come up here and just do a little bit of close inspection. And if you're interested in any of these products, you can get these up at Autogeek.net. Simply beautiful. Okay, and always be checking out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Autogeek for more fun and informative videos.